One time no talk. Welcome in. I am Joe Hunk. Sean Abraham is over there as we take your phone calls as well at 256-576-4977. The swap over from Talking Ball to the Blitz is always the most hectic if you have to listen and or watch on 97.7 in the zone. And WCZ and TV, welcome everybody from ESPN Winchester that's hopping in as well on this Friday. There's a big basketball game that we're trying to talk about that's going to be happening tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock. In case you don't know anything about it, we'll kind of keep you, in the loop for the next 2 hours. But always, it doesn't matter because you're probably going to need this. You need to be careful always, but you may need to know about Fleming Roofing and Restoration, especially with some of the weather we're going to be encountering over the next 24 hours.
Of course. I mean, they are the people you need to know about if you have any roofing problems. You can look them up online, find them at FlemingHSV.com, and fill out your quote. It's that easy. And all you got to do is remember that they show up.
They always show up.
Oh, yeah.
Which another person that always shows up for us is Grace Anello, who is going to be joining us at 10 o'clock today to talk a little bit about all of the bad weather that is going to be coming through the Tennessee Valley. Because, look, you can listen to Talking Ball. We have UNA Army going to be getting going over at Toyota Field. For myself, I've got UAH baseball going on. UAH softball is happening as well. Both of those are against Christian Brothers. Basically, the entire athletic department in Memphis for Christian Brothers has made their way to the city because last night UAH basketball took on Christian Brothers, went 2-0, and then now the baseball and softball teams are going to be taking them on as well. Double headers are going to be scheduled for today. First pitch for UAH baseball is supposed to be at noon over at Charger Park. We're still trying to figure out everything out with softball as well. So there's a lot of things happening around the Tennessee Valley, not to mention a lot of fans are going to be traveling to Jacksonville State with a lot of the basketball and the regional tournaments that's going on. So we want to keep you updated about the weather, and this is the time that we always get Grace on to kind of talk about those sort of things and what is going to be happening over the course of the next 24 hours so that you are well prepared. Because I'll be honest, I wasn't. I just thought it was going to be rain.
That's what a lot of people
I just thought it was going to be rain. So I'll walk in today and Scott is over there looking at the manager, waiting for him to give him the arm to say that he was getting pulled for relief. We're totally leaning into this baseball thing. And so as he's doing so, John looks at me and goes, "Hey, do you want to hit Grace up? This weather today or tomorrow may be kind of bad." I'm like, "Wait, really?"
It's specifically tomorrow night.
Yeah,
I've heard a
real?
lot of things about it, and we'll get more of the information on it later because we're no meteorologists or anything like that. But I will want to ask her a few other questions because we don't get a lot of females on the show. All right, we have the occasional call, but outside of that, we don't have a lot of females on the show. And when it comes to Valentine's Day, Joe, we got to know what we need to do for dates or what our listeners need to do for ideas.
My wife's listening.
Where they want to take, them,
Just texted me.
what type of snacks that they would want. We got to get a female's perspective. And I feel like Grace would be the perfect guest for a Valentine's lovely addition to the Blitz.
Okay, so here's the truth. I'm not going to hide this. I'm not going to act like I'm doing something I'm not. I know my wife is listening. I don't celebrate this holiday.
We know.
I don't celebrate the holiday
before.
I do.
And it was a very lovely reason why.
It is. It's because I have this belief that you don't need a special day to let somebody know how much you love them. You make sure that you do that every single day.
It's Joe.
Look, it's just a personal thing. Okay, it's nothing about. I just think that it's a fake holiday. It just is. So, this is a battle that my wife and I've had the whole time. Now, she does things with the kids. I think even today, she just got me some chocolate, which, by the way, is in my bag behind you, John. Don't touch it. And, no, it's Reese's Eggs, man. She got me the Reese's Eggs.
No, exactly. You can't tell me not to touch Reese's Eggs.
Yeah, I know. But see,
how many?
None. There's 0 in there.
Okay.
It's all wrappers.
So she won't know.
It's all wrappers.
So you won't know how many is gone.
It's all wrappers. No. So I say that because this is how I believe in what I believe. I did tell her Happy Valentine's Day today, but that is it. Okay. Even
that means nothing.
No, it's like hey, I'm just giving you a hug and a kiss. I know that you want me to acknowledge what the day is instead of me just saying that it's February 14th. I totally get it. Now, as far as like my daughter and my son, I do the exact same thing with them. I give them a kiss, tell them I love them, and that's it. It's it. It is a normal day for me. It is a normal day. So I do understand how important this is for a lot of people, men and women. So I understand why you're wanting to ask me these questions.
Well, tomorrow may not be a normal day, of course, because we have a massive game, as well as a massive schedule over on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, as well as the brand new, once imitated Zone 3, which is going to hold quite a bit of fun. Also, baseball.
Look, we literally have had so many people get into and want to enjoy the Charger Zone, and so many people at UAH and UAH alumni that are going, hold up, how are you guys going to do this tomorrow? Because we've got UAH baseball, we have UAH softball, and it is senior day over for UAH basketball, which is going to be very emotional for Coach Sharp, as well as where you're looking at all these seniors for the men's team that is about to graduate as well. I mean, you've got some dogs that are about to play their last game, last regular season game at Spraggins Hall, because both the men and women will be hosting a quarterfinal game at the beginning of March at Spraggins Hall as part of the GSC tournament. So it's not the last game at Spraggins Hall, but it is the last regular season game for these seniors.
And honestly, I'm pumped for the postseason. The same could be said for baseball getting started, because, yes, we have had some UAH baseball games already, but Alabama's going to be playing today. You won't be able to listen to the first few games of Alabama's season, but, I mean, who would really want to watch Alabama versus Bradley? I mean, I would. But at the same time, I'll go and watch it on ESPN Plus.
That's what I normally do. Is I hop on ESPN Plus, and I'm going to be watching a lot of these games. This is normally what my Saturday consists of. But now I'm going to be at the ballpark unless the Storms are going to take everything away. Which is probably
let's take it easy. All right, it's not going to take anything away. It's going to take the schedule
away.
It's going to take the schedule and change it around.
Look, and I'm already making plans for tomorrow morning. Okay, I'm not that's the hard part about this is with the weather that's coming in. I know I'm supposed to have a baseball game tomorrow. I know I'm supposed to be prepping for it. Obviously, 2 today is going to prep for tomorrow. But at the same time, I'm going, all right, so the men's and women start playing at 2:00. It means if there's like a 9 a.m. showing Captain America, I can take my son to it.
Dollar Theater.
No, not the Dollar Theater. We go for 3 days. It's Captain Bleeping America, man.
I didn't know that came out so soon.
No, it came out yesterday. Wow. Yeah, it came out yesterday. Well, last night.
I'm very much out of touch with the Marvel universe.
No, well, and this is again this is not Chris Evans Captain America. It's transition now, but you've got Thunderbolts that are going to be coming up. You've got all those other movies that are happening. Plus, everybody's now getting close because coming up this summer, they are going to start filming for Avengers Doomsday.
Ooh, so have they totally skipped that other storyline with the other villain? What's his name? Because of that whole accusation.
Yeah, no, he got taken away.
There were so many of them, though.
Yeah,
there could have been one dimension where he was just seen.
Well, I have a feeling they're going to have to answer that at some point in time about how that will took place.
Marvel fashion, he's just going to get incinerated, which would be tough because what is it? No,
that was no.
It's a different guy.
Yeah, but what it is it's going to be like a random snap. He's just going to be gone out of all the universes.
It's going to make it easy.
But they swapped over, and Robert Downey Jr. is coming back. He's playing Dr. Doom now, but it is a variation of Tony Stark. That is Dr. Doom,
which is pretty cool, pretty complex. I'm gonna like it. It's the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
It is, but this is the Captain America. The only thing that I hate about this is the name of this movie is Brave New World, and the only thing is I hate PC America. I loathe PC America. Okay, no, it was supposed to be called Captain America: New World Order. Ooh. And that was such an amazing name. Obviously, the wrestling geek in me was all about this, but somebody got all upset about the name, and so they changed it to Brave New World.
Yeah, especially with a lot of these politicians throwing up, some salutes. I'm just like, come on, it's not mean to be, anything bad.
But Harrison Ford's in it. He's going to be Red Hulk, so it's going to be
Harrison Ford's Red Hulk.
Yes, Harrison Ford's Red Hulk.
What the heck?
Yeah, Harrison Ford is Red Hulk.
That's crazy. I would have never thought that. Either way, In sports, though, for tomorrow, what you got to look forward to on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, as well as the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app, which make sure you guys download that Apple and Android devices. You can also look forward to Arkansas facing off against Texas. That's going to be some men's basketball starting off the day. Then you get UAH versus Christian Brothers in a doubleheader for baseball.
Yes.
That's on the calendar at least.
It is on the calendar. That has changed because the doubleheader has actually been moved up to today.
Okay, so you get 2 games today and then
so you're getting
tomorrow.
2 games today. 1 game is scheduled for tomorrow because, and look, this is how many options UAH went through. There was a period of time where they thought about moving this doubleheader away from Charger Park and taking it to one of the fields, one of the high school fields in the Tennessee Valley that has the artificial surface because of how much rain has already rained over the last 2 days.
Yeah.
But because the wind and everything, we believe the field is okay. I'm waiting for the final go ahead to make sure because right when this show wraps up, I'm heading to Charger Park.
Yeah. Just keep an eyeball on your phone, Joe. We also get UAH softball facing off against the Christian Brothers, as well as UAH versus Union women's basketball, men's basketball.
I know. I love the fact that you said the Christian Brothers because last night during the broadcast, I called them CBU. I called them the Buccaneers. I called them Christian Brothers. I called them the Brothers. I literally
you gotta stretch it.
every variation of it, and I was like, man, the Brothers sound so good, but at the same time, I can't. I had to stop saying it. Called them the Bucks. There's so many things that you can go with CBU.
And you finish off the night with Kentucky versus Texas, and that's actual the Longhorns. I forget to add on the A&M for that Arkansas matchup, but that's also going to be men's basketball that you look forward to on the main zone. What we got to get into today, there is a lot of conversation. Of course, Drew DeArmond coming up. We're going to break down everything we can about this Alabama-Auburn matchup, as well as look ahead on the baseball seasons for both sides of the ball. On top of that, Aaron Rodgers, of course, and the Jets are separated. It's so sad.
And on the day before Valentine's.
But, Joe, this first hour, again, we're up in ESPN Winchester. Hello to them, everybody in our Tennessee listeners. There's some stories coming out. There's some reports coming out. There's some things coming out about maybe a trade that could happen that includes the Tennessee Titans and the New York Jets. Just some thoughts.
The Jets?
Just some thoughts.
Oh.
Nothing set in stone.
The Jets are sitting at 7 right now.
But you look at Will Levis, you look at Aaron Rodgers, just think about who you'd rather have. And this is a real question. I'm not saying, you'd rather have Aaron Rodgers.
No.
I don't know if you would.
No. I don't care that he owns land in Tennessee.
But it is something to think about just because it is a little bit of question that's being thrown out into the airways, according to Garrett Hodel from CBS Sports. So there's something to think about.
Wait, did you?
Yes, I said that.
No, I'm sitting it because I now dive into it, but I can't, and I don't need to.
Can't dive into it just yet. Because we also got to get into some of the Nationals face-off in the NHL because USA.
Dude, I missed the whole thing.
Got to play Finland.
I know. And UC Saros got absolutely obliterated. Like 6 goals. I feel so bad.
It was the worst thing. The worst thing that could have happened. I mean, it really was. That game was close all the way up until the end. It started off with a little top lefter from Finland against USA, but then it just went downhill going into the third period. And of course, getting into a little bit of the conversation, focusing on the rest of college basketball.
There's no rest of college basketball. Nothing else matters tomorrow.
Just the SEC.
There's literally nothing else matters except for this one. No, because you want to know why? And this is where again, and I understand we are an ESPN affiliate, but let's be straight about this. If North Carolina and Duke were playing each other and they were number 1 and number 2 in the country right now, every single person on ESPN would be treating like the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Let's be honest.
It would be on the TV.
Yeah, if everything right now, and know that there's going to be college in all of this, but like it would be a big topic on like around the horn. It would be literally you would start seeing like, all right, let's go through the history of the coaches and who has the best coaching lineage and all this. Like you would be doing every single little breakdown.
Can't believe we're talking NBA
of Duke and North Carolina about this game if it was them playing each other being number 1 and number 2. It would be. This is where the whole like asinine thing about like Dickie V needs to be on the broadcast. Like you need to give this game the treatment that you would North Carolina do.
I totally agree with you, Joe, but we got a lot of things to get into. We will have phone lines open at times during the show because I want our listeners to shout out their Valentines. That's what I want. That would make this a Valentine's edition of the Blitz. So don't go anywhere because we're getting Drew DeArmond back on the air a little bit of overtime for the man from Talking Ball. So don't go anywhere because you are listening to the Blitz here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and ESPN Winchester.
Atlanta Braves spring training is on from Florida, and this 2025 Brave squad is ready to get after it in Northport.
He waylays this thing way downtown. Swung on a fly ball, deep left center field, heading towards the gap. That is down for a base hit. Acuna hits the bag at third. Here he comes, Michael Harris, taking no prisoners. It's a sweep.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. They offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com. When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
You can now do more without it costing you more. Alabama's attractions have come together to offer the all-in-one ticket that downloads to your mobile device. No matter how many attractions listed on the ticket you see during the time span you bought, your price stays the same. Pick the right ticket option that best fits your schedule, and then enjoy more attractions without spending more. All-in-one tickets for different areas of Alabama are available at alabama.travel and other places where online tickets are sold. Brought to you by Alabama Tourism Department, the ABA, and this station.
Hey, brother. Saw you call.
John, I've been thinking about our days during the war, and
I'm on my way.
thanks, man.
If you are a veteran struggling with anxiety or need someone to talk to, call 800-273-8255. Press 1. It's private and free 24/7. Call 800-273-8255 or visit vetsforhope.com. Sponsored by the Partners Challenge and the Alabama Broadcasters Association. Let's talk about the X's and O's of family entertainment. Every parent in Alabama knows the importance of being able to draw up an activity that'll get you out of the house for a couple of hours. But it needs to be affordable. It needs to be family friendly. Above all, it needs to be fun. Now, let's talk about high school sports. Bang for the buck, school sports provide the perfect game plan for your family. You'll enjoy all of the drama and excitement competitive sports offer. You'll be supporting the future leaders of our community in a meaningful way. Best of all, you can take the entire family without breaking the bank. Heck, you won't even tempt it. Now, enough chat talk. Let's get out there and see what's playing at the high school in your community. School sports. Good for our kids, good for our community. This message presented by the Alabama High School Athletic Association and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
From the 54 Center, I'm meteorologist Jordan Dress. Partly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperature climbing into the 50s, dropping into the mid-upper 40s. Cloud cover Saturday afternoon. Temperature climbing into the mid and upper 60s. A couple of isolated and widely scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to be possible through Saturday afternoon. That activity becomes much more widespread as we head into the evening and then through the course of the overnight. We're also talking about the chance for some strong or severe thunderstorms Saturday night and early into Sunday morning. Temperatures drop into the lower 40s as well as isolated showers through Sunday afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
And now a man who knows what you ate for breakfast.
Hang out for the biggest sinker of them all.
He knows it all. He is Drew DeArmond. Listen to Drew and Scott Tyson weekday mornings. It's Talking Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
That trick never worked.
Since when I say welcome back into Talking Ball, Drew Hunk filling in for Scott Tyson.
No, the Blitz show.
Look, it's a setup of what we were doing 30 minutes ago.
Honestly, this is deja vu. I am doing deja vu.
I mean, it's about to be the exact same conversation and everything.
No, because now we know everything. So anybody who's now listening, after their 15 minutes of not listening to the zone,
Yes.
they get all the information they need to know. Because, hey, Drew DeArmond from Talking Ball is with us here at the studio. Still got to figure out a name for this place because it's not no man's land, but of course, always presented by Mercury Motors.
I think we're taking care of that at some point in
and
time.
Hall. Yes, I think it is being taken care of. So I won't have a little nickname for it, but we'll figure something out. Regardless of that, of course, there is a basketball game this weekend. I'm not going to act like there's not. Yet, yes, Drew. Alabama, no,
Union.
and then that's when I was switching to something like that. But Alabama versus Auburn going to be going down, of course.
Actually, Union gave UAH their biggest test.
No, this is big, and even with the women's side, this is number 1 and number 2. So I know
Union's women's program really good, and Coach of the Year, Alan Sharp, for what he's done with UAH and the women's program in year 1.
Lily Wilkins already scored over 1,000 points this season, or not this season. That'd be a record for her career. She just went over the 1,000-point mark last night.
Caitlin Clark would have been envious of 1,000 points.
So last night, I know we totally started joking about UAH Union, but last night, Mia Hollingsworth, she was 5 of 6 from the three-point line last night. She scored over 23 points in the game. I mean, like, it was every time she got the ball, it was pop and shoot, and she was draining them from the corner.
Yeah, and it's good to see. I mean, UAH, of course, having a very successful season, and that just adds on to the amount of basketball, high-level basketball that's being played, not just in the North Alabama area, but Alabama in general. And I know you've heard it 1,000 times, all right? We're doing really well when it comes down to the hardwood, but there's got to be somebody better than the other. And when it comes to the SEC, of course, you have the two teams, Auburn, Alabama. They're facing off tomorrow. One of them, I mean, Auburn's ranked number 1, but right now, and this is no bias, I look at this Alabama team and I just see 2 different starting lineups. And I just don't know how this Auburn team is going to be able to push through, especially at Coleman Coliseum. But Drew, you can tell us a little bit more information. Talk about a little bit of the depth of both sides of the ball.
Well, I mean, Alabama, I think they've got the deepest roster in college basketball. When Darion Reed's healthy, now we don't know about his availability. Brian Passek just told us that on Talking Ball as he gets ready to make be on the call on the Alabama radio network, and we are the home for UA CTSN, and that's going to be with Darion Reed. But when you think about this Alabama team, they have the ability. They've got dudes everywhere. I mean, they can definitely match up with Auburn. They've got across their front line a lot of length and size, and they've got Jaron Stevenson coming off the best game of his career, 7 of 8 for 22 points against Texas. Grant Nelson didn't play a ton, didn't need 7 points, but he's very, very capable at that stretch 4 position, playing the power forward slot. And then Cliff Amore, the big portal transfer, rim protector. Brian mentioned he's playing in a new system at Alabama, but he definitely is an upgrade at protecting the rim. He made the block and got a piece of the ball with Keyshawn Murphy to kind of seal that game against Mississippi State late in Starkville, which was a hornet's nest for Alabama. They found a way to win that game, 88-84 and to escape. But I'll just say this too. That front line is good, but then when you talk about the guard play, and then now, I mean, hopefully it's a good sign for Alabama. It needs to be. But LeBaron Philon seemed to find his shot against Texas. Aiden Holloway has maybe been the best three-point shooter in SEC conference play. The transfer from Auburn, so that's going to be a fascinating storyline because he went from one, side of the rivalry to another. You never see that. And those are your two guards really that are coming off the bench because Mark Sears and Chris Youngblood, that's kind of become a little bit of your backcourt there. And Youngblood is someone that, it was not even a factor on this team, but about a month ago until he got healthy. And now it's been a month and a half in the lineup, I guess, really. But really, in the last month or so, in the last 3 to 4 weeks, he started to hit his stride. You remember in that game with Starkville, he went 7 to 10 from three. He's very, very capable of making plays and making shots. So I think Alabama, they've got a really nice, foursome at the guard spot, and they're all old. And even Holloway is a sophomore, except for LeBaron Fallon. Fallon is certainly a freshman. He's extremely athletic. Maybe the best pro prospect on the team right now. And then you've got Mark Sears, who look, I know he's had some turnover issues, but he is your captain. He is the bell cow of the squad. He's been in these big games. Like I was telling Bryce on Talking Ball this morning, he has to get to the rim. He can't be a stationary just shooter because he's strong. He's strong enough to get guys in foul trouble, draw fouls, get to the free throw line. And, like we said, the keys to the game for Alabama to me are, of course, keeping those turnovers to a minimum, even though Auburn's a very good defensive team. But also, they've got to win the battle of the glass and the O-board. And then this goes to the point of Sears, attack the rim and get Auburn in foul trouble because the Jonai Broome has tended to sometimes get in foul trouble, Dylan Cardwell as well, even Chaney Johnson. One of Chaney's biggest issues at UAH was staying on the floor because he got in foul trouble. If you can get those bigs in foul trouble for Auburn has good guard play as well. I mean, Denver Jones, his last few games, sans the Florida game, he kind of throw that one out, but he certainly has shot the ball well for the Tigers in the last few, especially coming off that game in Nashville. And then Todd Pettiford, Stone. I mean, this is a guy – it's kind of interesting. Alabama has Philon. Auburn has Pettiford. They're two of the better freshman guards in college basketball. Pettiford has not been afraid to take a big shot, make a big decision. He has saved Auburn's bacon on the road several times. So he's going to be a huge factor in the game. And then a guy that I think all year has not gotten enough credit for how good he is, and that's Miles Kelly. He's the transfer from Georgia Tech. He made the big shot against Tennessee from the corner with Auburn trailing late off that feed from Jonai Broome. He's also done a good job rebounding. And then Chad Baker-Mazara. He's another big-time three-point shooter. He can really play. He's an agitator He usually can give Auburn a lot of energy. Now at times it can go the other way. It'll be interesting because he was in the middle of the melee last year, drawing fouls, also getting under people's skin. So it's going to be a really interesting matchup. Both teams are deep. Both teams are talented. I think Alabama's a little deeper, but Auburn is such a good defensive team. They're a better defensive team than Alabama. Yet I give Alabama the offensive edge. So it's as even as it can get, and the spread being 1.5 right now is not surprising.
Well, and defense was kind of where I was going with my question because, yes, you're talking about Auburn. They're like top 5 defense in the SEC right now.
A lot of shot blocking.
A lot of shot blocking. Obviously, when you have somebody like Broome that's down low, he's got that ability. But Alabama, statistically, are the worst teams in the SEC when it comes to defense. What do they need to do so that they can keep up with that on the defensive side with as well as Auburn plays on defense?
Well, I mean, I think they have the ability to potentially do what Florida did in the copycat league. And Alabama's improving defensively. They've moved into the top 40. Now, Alabama can be a little deceiving, though, because of the pace they play with. Sometimes for them, it's not that bad to give up 75, 80 points because you're scoring 100. So, and you're still blowing people out like they blew out Texas 103 to 80 on the road. So, but I think what they need to do, they do need to affect some shots. They need to be able to guard Jonai, in my opinion, one-on-one. And if I almost think they should allow him to get his away, because if he has 18 and 10, but yet he's 8 of 19 from the floor, then to me you're making him miss shots. But you better be rebounding the ball. You can't let Dylan Cardwell control the offensive glass or Chaney Johnson. Chaney's coming off, I think, against Vanderbilt, maybe 9 out of 10 from the floor. Hit the best game of his career. So you better keep Auburn off the glass. You got to keep them off the glass, and you got to make them earn it. To me, I mean, I think they're a pretty good shooting team. They're not a great shooting team at times. So if you can hold Auburn in the low 40s field goal percentage wise, yet win the rebounding battle, which means they're not getting second and third opportunities, So I just think overall, I would expect Alabama to play man. Most of the time they may change it up a little bit, but I still think man defense is where they're going to go to. And again, it's going to be about being able to guard Jonah Broome, make him earn everything. And then if you're Alabama, you've got to stay sticky. You got to close it out because, again, you can't leave these shooters wide open. If you leave Pettiford wide open, if you leave Kelly wide open, they can definitely hurt you. Now, if they're making 25-footers, so be it.
Mhm.
Then you're going to have to live with it. And that's why, in a way, I think both these teams are going to be ready to play. I think both of them have handled business maturely, which is nice to see. They didn't, Auburn had the hiccup against Florida, but Florida's a top 3 team in the country.
I mean, they're right now sitting on the one line.
Yeah.
I mean, they're very, very good. And they bounced back nicely in Nashville, which is a very tough place to play when they're good. But I just think overall, if Bama's going to win this game, I pick 92-88, something like that. I think it'd be a very high-scoring game. If Auburn wins it, I think you're going to see a 77-72 type deal where they do a great job of sticking with Alabama. They get out on the shooters, they contest, they turn Alabama over, and Alabama cannot score. Because you remember and they control the pace. I don't think Auburn wants to go up and down. Now they can do that, but I think they want to control the pace a little more, slow it down a little bit. They'll probably watch the film of Ole Miss, which means your bigs are playing well and making Alabama earn everything because Alabama points in the paint have been, when Alabama's won, they have worn you out on the offensive glass and in the paint. They're going to want to try to win that rebounding battle if you're Auburn, and they're going to also want to turn Alabama over, control the pace. And if the game's in the 70s, it means Alabama's not playing as fast as they want to. And if you're Alabama, they don't really turn teams over too much. It's still a possessions game, which means you've got to win the battle of the glass, get more possession, make shots. And you've got to – and look, Texas was considered a good defensive team, and they shredded Texas. So they're going to have to play well, play with a lot of energy, and win the battle on the boards and the glass. Keep the turnovers to a minimum. You're going to turn over some. You keep them to a minimum. And then, like I said, get those kick-out threes. I think if they make 10 threes, they're in good shape. It's more about the makes than how many they take. But, again, I just think with Alabama, the pace has got to be faster.
No doubt about that. It's been a month since Alabama scored under 80 points. The last time was against Ole Miss. They scored 64. And, of course, it's a tough task to ask for that Auburn defense. But it is doable seeing their track record. Regardless of that, Drew DeArmond from Talking Ball is our guest, again, presented by Mercury Motors Alumni Hall. There's other games going on. As much as people want to just focus on this one, yeah. And you talked about rebounding. And one team that needs to rebound moving forward is going to be this Tennessee Volunteers team. And they're facing off against the team that beat them earlier, thankfully. This one, back in their own home. Tennessee, Vanderbilt. Drew, what are you going to say about this matchup?
Well, I mean, I see Tennessee getting the revenge here. This is tough for me. It's a tough week.
Yeah.
You lose at home. It's a 47-45 game in the second half. You're right there with Auburn. Then Auburn pulls away to win 80-68. And we all know they were able to survive by the skin of their teeth just a few weeks ago against Tennessee. And that kind of started turning their season when they won that game in Memorial Gymnasium in Nashville. I see Tennessee bouncing back. They bounced back all year from their tough losses. Certainly, Kentucky's been a bad matchup for them. I like Tennessee in this matchup in Thompson Bowling Arena to get the split with Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's going to have to bounce back next week. But I really like Tennessee in the game, no doubt about it. And looking forward to that matchup. And like I said, and I think also another one is big because they need they need a big road win that would give them a sweep over their rival, and that's Mississippi State. They're traveling to Ole Miss. Ole Miss is in solid shape for the NCAA tournament after they escaped by the skin of their teeth in Columbia, South Carolina. That's going to be another really interesting matchup. And the third one I'm watching is just to see, because this is a big game for Texas. They let one get away from them. Alabama blew them out of the Moody Center. Kentucky is coming in. We don't know what Lamont Butler's status because he left that game with re-aggravating his shoulder. So this is a big game for Texas to remain on the right side of the bubble. They lose this game and go 0-2 this week, and then Tennessee is then Kentucky's starting to get on a roll. Then Kentucky, and if they can do it without Lamont Butler again, Then you start looking at Kentucky staying out of that Wednesday. We talked about that's something maybe Vandy and Georgia are going to have to be battling. But that's interesting. And then Texas, again, you lose this game, you're starting to get into that pool of 5 or 6 teams in the SEC that are going to be fighting for your life on the bubble down the stretch of the last few weeks.
And as we've been talking, I have gotten distracted over the last few minutes because I have right over Drew's head, we have ESPN going on.
Yeah.
And so I was watching it for a second, and down on the scroll on the very bottom, it popped up the phrase, and it said softball, and it said second inning. And I went, wait a second. It is 9:30 a.m. What are you talking about? There's softball going on right now, but Auburn is playing in Clearwater.
Yeah, Alabama's there too. So they're playing on Eastern time.
The game's already started. I'm like 9:30. Like I thought that UAH potentially had the first pitch at 10
there, bro.
It is. But I'm like,
you got to know these things if you're an Auburn fan. Come on.
No, I was just surprised. I didn't expect a first pitch at 9 a.m., man. Do you not realize how amazing and much fun that is? I mean, heck, when Drew gets done here, he's going to hop in the car and he's heading to Jack State.
Wallace State.
Yeah.
He's heading that way.
It's a great gym, too. It's a wonderful gym.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring up this South Carolina team as well. All right, because this is the worst start by far for this basketball program to face off against Florida. Is there any get right for this Gamecock team? All right.
No.
There you go. Well, there you go.
I mean, they're getting the Missouri Award this year. They just, last year they were picked last, South Carolina, and they made a Cinderella run to top 4 in the SEC. Good NCAA tournament seed. Lamont Paris got a huge contract, but this year they're getting skates. Tennessee said the same thing the year before. Cinderella run. Our boy Kobe Brown became a first-round pick to get to the NCAA tournament. They have a really good year, and then the next year 0-18. Now, I'm not saying that's happening for South Carolina, but it's trending. I mean, they've had 5 or 6 chances. They can't seem to finish, and they're playing the Florida Gators. Now, Condon, I'm sure, will be out for a little while longer. Thank goodness it wasn't a break. It's just a severe ankle sprain, kind of like a Jonai Broom. But the Gators are going to destroy South Carolina.
All right. Drew DeArmond from Talking Ball is our guest, and we do want to continue on with the conversation, but we will be talking a little bit of the Egg Bowl of the hardwood. Later on with Grace Anello. She is a Mississippi State alum.
She is. Flying it.
She will say that it's not called the Egg Bowl.
We'll find out, Joe.
She's not going to call it the Egg Bowl of basketball, for God's sake.
I just thought it was funny. Ebob's a good name.
We got iBob, like we're over here, like it's an Olympic sport. And it's now, but
that's terrible.
No, see, you're not doing that. Now, like I said, you are going down. You're going to be watching some high school basketball today. Who all are you going down to watch?
Well, we got a lot of 7A storylines. The ladies from Bob Jones taking the court today. The James Clemens Jets on boys action. Dylan Burleson and the Florence Falcons taking the 4 and 7A as well. And then we've got 2 3A finals. So 2 Final Four tickets will actually be punched today over at Wallace State. 3A girls, 3A boys. So it's the best time of the year if you're a hoop head like myself. And it's a short drive of about an hour over to the palatial campus of Wallace State, Hanceville. And looking forward to the good friend Freddie Kirby of taking in some hoop today.
Very nice. Drew DeArmond, real quick. Alabama, of course, gets started with baseball. I don't expect you to hop fully into this breakdown, of course, but what are you expecting from this Crimson Tide baseball team this year?
Well, it's just they announced their rotation. I want to see how those 3 guys throw. 2 of them are coming back, and basically one missed the entire season, the other missed, I think made 1 start. So Zane Adams will go on Friday. Will go today. The lefty, he had a really good freshman year. The Saturday guy is probably going to be Sunday because it's probably going to rain like hell. But Riley Quick is coming back from Tommy John, so he'll be taking the ball in game 2. And then guy they really were excited about out of the transfer portal, Bobby Spurlock, got hurt last year, did not take the mound at all. Spurlock, mid-90s guy, righty. He's going to take the mound coming up in game 3. So just really wanting to see how the starting pitching looks. A lot of new faces also in the lineup to watch for as well. So, the transfer portal, they had, some big-time additions, especially in the infield at third base, catcher, and first, and then also in center field with Bryce Fowler. So it'll be a lot of new pieces for Alabama, but I think they believe they're more versatile this year. They've got more speed in the lineup, and the pitching staff, especially from a bullpen perspective, they've got more options, and they've got different styles of guys from the standpoint of pitching. So we're going to follow that Bradley series closely for the University of Alabama, year 2 under head coach Rob Ball.
And I think a lot of people forget that this was a regional team last year. So
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
were.
yeah. So I
It's a
mean,
good
they,
team,
yeah. So it's not, as the rebuild is taking place, you're talking about it being in the second year of the new head coach. It wasn't like this team was bad last year. Finished the year 33-24.
I mean, the high point was they were the only SEC team to beat Tennessee in a series.
Absolutely, they
It was
were.
their first series too.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
now by the skin of their teeth.
It was.
They held on for dear life, but they did beat the Vols 2 out of 3 in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, so you're correct about it. Going back into this, there should be some thoughts about getting a few games into regionals, trying to get there, and even potentially get into a super regional this year.
Yeah, they did it 2 years ago. I was there. I was a faithful soldier because I had nowhere to stay, so I went back and forth 3 times, and every game was a very late first pitch due to weather.
Yep.
But it was awesome to see them win that regional. They were able to outlast Troy in an epic game the day before, and then get to the finals, win it all, and go to Wake Forest, who went to the College World Series, finished 3rd. They were probably the most talented team in the country.
Hands down.
But it was the first regional win for Alabama since 2010. And so it was big for the program at that point in time. And they're looking to get back there. It was the first time they'd hosted since 2006. But again, big for Alabama to get back to postseason under Rob Vaughn last year. And that's the goal this year as well.
Always fun talking with you, Drew. I guess I'll have to wait until Monday morning to see you. Well, no, I'm not, because you're going to be at Bill Penny. Regardless of that, we will be conversating over the weekend as well as going into next week, as we have a whole lot to talk about as we get into next week, because it's a packed schedule. On
Wallace State today, Tuscaloosa tomorrow. So awesome weekend basketball.
What's going on, Tuscaloosa?
We'll take it to break. When we get back, finishing out the first hour, you guys can get your phone calls in. 256-576-977 is the number to get in to the Blitz.
This is Brett Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. For a limited time, GBank is offering a $250 bonus when you open a GBank Visa signature card. Apply today at vsin.com/GBank.
Auburn and Alabama meet tomorrow at the Coleman Coliseum. The top-ranked Tigers, a 1.5 dog at number 2 Alabama. The total quite high, 172.5. That is coming up tomorrow in college basketball, a battle of number 1 versus number 2 in Tuscaloosa. The 67th running of the Daytona 500 is Sunday. It's Ryan Blaney, the 10-1 favorite, Joey Logano and Chase Elliott, along with Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch, all at 12-1. The Truck Series opens its season today at Daytona. The fresh from Florida 250, Justin Haley 8-1, Michael McDowell plus 850, Corey Heim 9-1. For more, go to vsin.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list and maybe a little scary, but it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan. That is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
It's laundry season at Owen Home Appliance Center. Tired of that washer walking out the door and having to dry a load 2 or 3 times? It's time for a new washer and dryer. Pick from brands like Maytag, GE, Whirlpool, Electrolux, and of course, Speed Queen. Try the new 2-in-1 GE Profile that washes and dries a load all in one machine. Visit the interactive location in Lacey Springs where you can try the washers and dryers before you buy them. Owen Home Appliance Center. Quality products, quality pricing, quality service. It's in the name, Owen Home Appliance Center.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. We drop into the mid-upper 40s as we head into the overnight early into your Saturday morning. Mostly cloudy to overcast sky Saturday afternoon. We're also going to be incredibly warm. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 60s. Better opportunity for widespread showers and thunderstorms Saturday night and then early into Sunday morning. Some of those thunderstorms could be on the strong or severe end of the spectrum. Looks like the biggest concern is going to be the threat for some additional heavy rain, which could lead to some additional flooding, and then the threat for some gusty, damaging winds. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
We are your home for March Madness.
Sid Garcia, it's 9-3 of the year. Fortunes at 86 all time.
We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Not just your home for Alabama basketball, but all of your local news. For some of the sports we got going down, like James Clemens facing off against Hillcrest Tuscaloosa in their regional first round.
That's right.
It's actually going on in about 45 minutes. That'll be going on. Florence versus Tuscaloosa County is also going to be playing today. That one's at 1:30. You go down the list a little bit, you get the Hoovers, the Albertvilles, but you also get the Huntsville versus Vestavia Hills. That's going on the 17th, so you can look forward to that one.
You still have a little bit of time on that one.
It is prime time.
Yep.
So you're going to have a lot of fun with that, as that Huntsville team is no joke, but Vestavia Hills should be a good challenge for that.
And I told Drew right before he walked out, I hate the fact that barring, an upset win over either Huntsville or Hoover, that they're going to have to play each other for a spot. And no, that should be your state championship game. This is the reason why we need to have some sort of ranking system when it comes to everybody. You need to have something better than that.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, but I mean, it's just the way high school basketball was never supposed to get to the point that it is now, where it is just, it is on a massive scale. But at the same time, as football, You got to be able to adjust with the times, and I feel like a lot of people would like that.
That is exactly what we're talking about, adjusting with the times. Like you can even use this argument for a lot of the Birmingham teams when it comes to high school football as well. Like these teams should not be if they're the two best teams in the state, then they should be 1 and 2, be on the opposite sides of the bracket. It doesn't matter what conference or what region or whatever they're from. They should be doing it like that. I think they should be that way for all of the state. Like this is not, especially now with the way schools are, and a lot of schools are letting kids go to these games and they're letting them off for the day and all this other stuff. Like this isn't a thing anymore of like, oh, there's going to be missing. No, the whole school basically gets out now for some of this stuff.
It really does. And yesterday that was kind of the case for Mae Jemison as they went up over to Wallace State, faced off against Pinson Valley, which I've gotten to see this team when they were undefeated 2 years ago against Buckhorn. Buckhorn was able to get the win, but it was a tough team. Flash forward to this year, Mae Jemison coming into this with the brand new head coach, of course, Pete Miller. And I mean, this is just a phenomenal season by this team. I feel like not enough people have been focusing on it just locally, just walking around. But this is a team that went 17-8 or 17-7 on the season, of course, going into their own play, the area play, and then getting into this regional tournament. They face off against a good Pinson Valley team, and they're even picked to win. And you see how close this matchup was going into it. It was a defensive battle all the way to the end, and sadly, Mae Jemison ended up losing that one, but still a wonderful, wonderful season from this team. I know that Coach Miller would have wanted to bring them a little bit farther, but of course, if you missed the interview yesterday on Talking Ball, you can go and check that out and just hear a little bit more about the background of this coach and also his team that he's had to just grow throughout the year. I mean, it was last year, and I don't want to bring any shame to anybody else, okay? But last year, the year before that, I was like, man, Buckhorn is in such an easy area. Like, I feel like they could go all the way every single year. And that's, of course, you get the Columbias, you have the Hazel Greens, and sometimes they have an on season like this year as they were able to go on to the second round, play up against Clay Chalkville. They did sadly lose that one, but it was also a very close matchup. 59-55 was that one. But, this was a Buckhorn team that kind of fizzled out at the end of the season. And then you get teams like Mae Jemison on this, surprise story, being able to take it to the regionals, being able to make it to that second round after their win against Muscle Shoals. I mean, this is stuff that you love to see, is a little bit of that diversity within, of course, the area, and seeing more teams make it the distance that they were able to.
John, you ever watch Last Chance U?
I watched a little bit of it, and I've seen what's going on with it right now.
$30 million lawsuit.
Ooh, that's a lot of money.
That has obviously a local tie to the state of Alabama. Because if you don't know, I talk about Last Chance U, the very first season of Last Chance U, they went to East Mississippi Community College, which is basically known as Last Chance U, and that's where the name of the show came from. And it is the place that a lot of Division I players go to, because obviously up until recently, you had to sit out a football season. So instead of sitting out and not doing anything for a semester or 2 semesters before you committed to another school, you would go to a junior college, you would play a season there, and a lot of players go to East Mississippi. So an entire Netflix series was created around East Mississippi College, and the players that were a part of that very first season are now suing for $30 million because of their portrayal in the series and the lack of compensation that they said that they were in a situation where they were forced to participate because they were told that if they did not sign the waiver contracts to be on the show, that they would be kicked off the team.
I mean, that is a sticky situation we're talking about. I mean, it's a show, but it's also a sport you love and you want to play it. And at the same time, you're doing this for the show as well. You're doing the extra work, and you're hoping that maybe you'd get a chance at playing at a legit college down the road, and maybe even
which a lot of the players
NFL.
did.
And some of them did. But I feel like this is from a lot of the players that did not. I feel like this noise is coming from a lot of those players.
Well, and so the players are involved in this lawsuit: Isaiah Wright, Tim Bonner, DeAndre Johnson, CJ Rivas, as well as Ronald Ollie. And yes, one John Franklin III, the former Auburn quarterback, which I believe you can say is the last Auburn quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl. Because, yes, he was on the Tampa Bay Bucks when they won the Super Bowl with Tom Brady.
Was he like the fourth string or something like that?
Doesn't matter. He got a ring.
That is true.
Grace Anello coming up next.
Sometimes the coolest little gems are found a little off the beaten path, and that's exactly where you will find Hickory Store Barbecue. They are on Blake Bottom Road, just east of Jeff Road, and it's definitely worth the trip. The smokers are going on site daily, and they have the best smoked wings around. You'll love the fireplace and the covered patio, and best of all, Hickory Store Barbecue is locally owned and operated by the McAlpins. They even have rotating craft beer taps and live music weekly. Hickory Store Barbecue. Go see what you're missing. Blake Bottom Road in Monrovia. You'll thank me later.
From the University of Alabama, this is Crimson Tide Today. It's a daily update on Bama sports, and it's brought to you by Guthrie's, America's original chicken finger restaurant. It's now an official partner of the Alabama Crimson Tide. For franchise information, visit Guthrie'sChicken.com. Hello again, everybody. I'm Roger Hoover. On Thursday's edition of Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR, we were joined by women's basketball forward Aaliyah Nye.
It's been really fun. I enjoy this team that we have. I enjoy the coaches that we have this season. And I think it's just been a fun season. Obviously, I want to expand my game more just in case people take away my three-point shot. So I worked on a lot of dribbling, pull-ups, and just my mentality, just staying focused and just getting in the gym as much as I can and working with my teammates. We had a lot of new faces, so just trying to get them acclimated to playing Alabama basketball.
How much pride do you take in your defense?
I actually love defense. I feel like people don't really know that. I like to play defense. I like to get stops, and that's something that I take pride in. I don't want anyone to score on me. So I really enjoy defense, and I don't know if a lot of people know that, but I do like to play defense for sure.
I'll have more in a moment.
Guthrie's Golden Fried Chicken Fingers, an Alabama tailgate tradition. Founded in Haleyville, Alabama in 1965, Guthrie's has been a Bama fan favorite for years. From your hometown to college towns all around, Guthrie's is still serving the family's original Southern fried chicken recipe just like always, fresh, hot, and fast. Make Guthrie's Golden Fried Chicken Fingers the MVP of your next tailgate. Guthrie's, America's original chicken finger restaurant and now an official partner of the Alabama Crimson Tide. For franchise information, visit Guthrie'sChicken.com.
We've got you covered for Alabama basketball against Auburn in a 1-2 matchup on Saturday. Tip-off is set for 3 p.m. from Coleman Coliseum, with our coverage on the network beginning at 2 p.m. Central. Crimson Tide Today is brought to you by Guthrie's. Crimson Tide Today is a production of the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Listen to UAH Charger basketball all season long.
So when we came out of the timeout, Coach Hedge had initially called a man play, and they ended up faking a zone. So the whole bench was yelling zone, zone, zone. So we tried to switch the play last second. We ended up getting confused. So Tommy swung it to me, and I initially was like, all right, I'm going to try and get to the rim right here. We're only down 2. We don't need a 3. And he flipped his hips real hard, and I tossed it back, and as soon as I let it go, I knew it was in.
Campbell to plug it in. 81-79 Union. Inbounds it goes. Dribbling it out from Tommy Murs. Swings it over to Campbell. Campbell on the wing for the lead. Oh, my God! Blake Campbell! It's a 3! Into the front court for the win! No good! No good! No good! Blake Campbell with some onions from Jackson, Tennessee!
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. For a limited time, GBank is offering a $250 bonus when you open a GBank Visa Signature Card. Apply today at vsin.com/GBank.
Auburn and Alabama meet tomorrow at the Coleman Coliseum. The top-ranked Tigers, a 1.5 dog at number 2 Alabama. The total quite high, 172.5. That is coming up tomorrow in college basketball. A battle of number 1 versus number 2 in Tuscaloosa. The 67th running of the Daytona 500 is Sunday. It's Ryan Blaney, the 10-1 favorite, Joey Logano and Chase Elliott, along with Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch, all at 12-1. The Truck Series opens its season today at Daytona. The Fresh from Florida 250, Justin Haley 8-1, Michael McDowell plus 850, Corey Heim 9-1. For more, go to vsin.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Have you discovered Good Company Cafe? The place for breakfast, brunch, lunch, and so much more. Enjoy brunch all day and pair with one of our many seasonal refreshing drinks, including alcoholic and non-alcoholic options. Choose inside or outside on our gorgeous, spacious, dog-friendly patio. And have some fun with friends playing yard games in the courtyard. See catering, to-go options, and lots more at goodcompany-cafe.com. Good Company Cafe, 7500 South Memorial Parkway.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
Second hour, final hour, best hour on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Joe Hunk, John Abraham, as the Blitz is rolling on this Friday, as John's going to be basically living here for the rest of the day.
Oh, I already got a cot set up in my office, bro.
Yeah.
Whew, it's cozy.
and
Few
the
stuffed animals.
The reason, just a few.
Some lonely chocolates.
No, they better not be any of those Reese's eggs, because those Reese's eggs should still be in there.
You said they were all wrappers.
They are all wrappers.
Uh-huh.
And so you better not be taking any of the empty wrappers.
Got a few egg bites?
Nope, not at all. But the reason why John is going to be in here is because the very moment that we wrap up with the Blitz, I'm going to be heading over to UAH, Christian Brothers and UAH getting started. It's supposed to be a 3-game series. It was supposed to be a 1 game today, 2 tomorrow. But we're kind of hearing that something may be happening tomorrow. So we and UAH and Christian Brothers have moved the doubleheader up to today. They have one scheduled for tomorrow. So we have kind of established a trend that I don't know if she's going to like the moniker or not. But whenever we get Grace Anello on, it is our equivalent of where is Jim Cantori?
Okay.
Because the moment that she comes on, you know crap is about to hit the fan. We don't know what direction. We don't know if it's ice. We don't know if it's rain. We don't know if it's wind. We don't know, okay? But the moment Grace comes on with us on the Bliss, it is the very thing that every single human being is terrified of when they walk into a Waffle House and see Jim Cantori sitting at the desk. They're like, well, we're screwed. Something's happening. So Grace, how's it going?
Hey guys, how do you possibly pass that up? What an intro.
I mean, it's true because, you know, we get you on in these things, and most of the time it's a, hey, it's going to be beautiful and sun shining. It's not that. It is tornadoes, hurricanes. What
warnings.
Are we dealing with?
Warnings.
Warnings.
All right.
Warnings.
Grace, I know Joe's he's a little bit more scared about it because whenever he walked in, I was like, hey, you know, we might not be able to get this guy on, but you know what? I think we got to get Grace on because there is a lot going on that I'm not even 100% on, but I heard it on, you know, some other radio stations as well as I've seen some stuff on the TVs.
Talk radio, WCZN.
Can you give us a little bit of an idea of what this weekend is supposed to look like?
Yeah, no. So I was glad that you guys called in this morning. I think it's a great weekend to talk about it. So basically, we're mild today, right? We're keeping a mix of clouds and sun today. Your high temperature 54 when you're going to Valentine's Day dinner tonight, right around 50. Overnight tonight, as in like midnight, overnight tonight. So probably not affecting most people's plans. A little bit of rain. We could keep some of that rain first thing on Saturday morning into the afternoon, but it's not an issue. What your Saturday is going to be is incredibly muggy. A high temperature back in the 60s. It's going to be very, very humid, like what we feel in May. It's going to be cloudy, and it's going to have those pockets of morning and afternoon rain, very hit or miss. I am tracking a severe weather risk. That is Saturday overnight. So that line is pushing into the shoals around 10:30, 11 p.m. So very late in the day, tracking east towards I-65 around 1 o'clock in the morning, Sand Mountain 2 o'clock in the morning. Our severe weather window ends at 4 a.m. on Sunday. So we could be seeing all modes of severe. I'm tracking very gusty wind. That's the first one. Also a good bit of rain, maybe an inch or two just in a couple of hours. So it could add to the flood risk from all the rain we've already had this week. And then I'm also tracking a threat for tornadoes as well.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, there's that last part.
Yeah,
I like that we
just-
left that one for
I like
last.
how I just slipped that in there.
That one in
Yeah,
there.
just let's leave that word for the last one. Thank you.
So with baseball going on yesterday or tomorrow with softball as well as baseball over at UAH, I mean, is this going to be any bit of a concern with any weather coming in? Obviously, you said it's going to be a little bit muggy, but is that going to be something that's going to, maybe postpone a game?
So I think you'll be fine. The biggest thing, obviously, is going to be how saturated is the mound. Or were we able to keep rain off that earlier this week? You're not going to see a ton of sun tomorrow. So if it gets some of that overnight rain and you haven't tarped the field correctly, it's going to be really hard for that to dry out. If that doesn't happen, then you're going to be fine.
No, that happens. That's
like, oh no, we got to make sure everything's set up.
No. See, you can tell that she's been around baseball players because she's like, look, if the field's not tarped correctly, it is because she has seen it not be tarped correctly.
Yeah.
This is
Yes,
the reason.
so I come from a family of collegiate baseball players. I'm also the consulting vet for the Trash Pandas. I got y'all covered.
There you go. And I want to look over at another game that we're definitely going to be focusing on tomorrow, Alabama-Auburn. A lot of people making that trip down to Tuscaloosa. And although this is an early game, which some people, I guess, have a problem with, other people are probably a little bit more thankful for it because, hey, maybe they can get out in time. You leave around 4 or 5 whenever this game wraps up. You're getting home 2-3 hours later. What does it look like around 7 and 8 o'clock tomorrow? Is that some kind of concern for some of these travelers?
So here's what I'll tell you. At the moment, it looks fine. And I've kind of been saying this too. I think some people are having their Valentine's dates tomorrow too at the restaurant. At the moment, it looks like you're going to be just fine in those dinner time hours and maybe very shortly thereafter. However, what the system is doing is it's actually the same line that brought the mudslides in California. It's completely dying out over the Rockies, and then it's completely reforming. So it's 2 separate systems, but it's in the same part of the trough from the jet stream. As that continues to strengthen, I just saw that face you made. As that continues, say again?
The trough from the jet stream. I'm not 100% sure what that is. I don't know if Joe's over there like, oh, he should know.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I got you.
Jet, unlike a Jets quarterback. It's a functioning jet.
I got you.
Yeah.
Sorry for the continue.
So the jet stream is the line that separates warm and cold air. It's where you see your severe weather. So that is kind of ebbing and flowing like the up and down of a roller coaster. And the down part of that's called a trough. That's what's going to be moving through Texas over the Mississippi River and eventually bringing that system to us. The moral of the story is, depending on exactly how quickly that intensifies, depends on how quickly it's going to move into our area. So how big does it get? How quickly? At the moment, it looks like you're just fine coming back from the Auburn-Alabama game. Depending on what team you're on, you might be a little bit sad, but you'll be fine on the drive back. But then we're just going to have to continue to monitor it. That's something that you need to stay posted in, but for the most part, you're looking good for now.
Yeah, so maybe a little bit dry outside, but in the eyes, you might be, watering a little bit.
Oh, there'll be anger.
Definitely inside.
Yeah, there may also be fire in
heat,
some people's eyes.
Yeah.
There may be.
Heat flashes. I get that.
Who do y'all got? Or do you even not? Do you not say who you got?
Alabama.
No. See, I literally want Auburn to destroy Alabama 4,500-0.
And that's what I love about this show, Joe. It's Alabama versus Auburn all day long.
Like Brian Passink was on with Talking Ball earlier, and I was filling in with Drew. And Brian Passink's like, so what do y'all think the keys to the game are? And I'm just like, Drew, you can answer, because my key to Alabama is just go ahead and do everything wrong. I just want you to do everything wrong. So yeah, no, that's it. So with that now, here's a couple of questions because.
I'm sorry, are you gonna not ask me to be the tiebreaker?
Oh, I was gonna let you be bipartisan, but okay. What is
either one? You tell me. It's your show.
No. I would like the tiebreaker opinion personally.
Yes.
All right, I got Auburn.
See, this is why we keep inviting her back on.
Well, I'm not
keep inviting her back on.
You know what? I would tell her to break it down, but But it's Valentine's Day, and I have other questions I need to ask.
He has some questions for you as well, and I have one because we're getting questions in the chat. By the way, Matthew says that when Jim comes to town, it is about to hit the fan. He said, I once saw him on the square in Oxford, and he had a mild panic attack. True. The moment you know he's there, like it is going to be something that freaks you out. So when you come on, it's like, look, we're not getting Grace on to let you know it's going to be a beautiful day. Like we're just not. So John has some Valentine's questions.
So don't worry,
I'll leave it to him.
I'm not going to ask you to be my Valentine. I already have one of those, but I will ask you this, since this is more of a woman's perspective on this whole thing.
Okay.
Got a lot of listeners that are probably still looking to, set up their dates or get their flowers or get their chocolates. From a woman's perspective, what is the perfect Valentine's date?
Oh, that's a really good question. So I like a low-key Valentine's, just being together, but I like the idea of it. We tell each other how much we care about all of our friends and relationships and whatever, but let's not get big on the pomp and circumstance. So I think flowers at home. Obviously, college baseball starts today, so that's going to be real high on my list if you can get close enough to a game. If not, just maybe stay at home, cook, hang out, watch a movie.
Okay.
Yeah. See, this is why we also get her on the show. She literally put baseball above flowers.
She's like, it's chill, it's relax, baseball, flowers.
Baseball, flowers.
Okay.
Like that right there, that's how you get some people to slide into your DMs right there, okay? You do that.
I don't need you to. I'm good, but I appreciate it.
Look, I'm not saying they need to because
That's not why we asked her the question.
Females in the news, they get some weird stuff as it is. Okay, I guarantee you she's gotten some weird DMs. I feel like she has.
This is for the listeners and their women. But another one would be what type of events are going on around Huntsville that you might have seen that you're like, oh, that's pretty interesting. That would be probably a really good date idea that our listeners could take advantage of this weekend.
Oh, that's a good one too. So there's a jazz festival downtown, and I think there's a play that you can go to. I'm not super well versed on that one. What I will tell you is sometimes some people will say, we'll do this and it'll be, for her or for him for Valentine's, but it's really only enjoyable if you know that your other person is enjoying it too. So find something that you both like, not something that one person has to suffer through.
Yeah. Well, meeting in the middle is something that sometimes happens in a relationship.
Now, let me ask you as well, because there's a question that we want to ask you as it equates to Alabama and Auburn, but we're trying to start a movement at UAH right now. Okay. And so far today, you have used the word trough multiple times, which is a 1,000% a redneck term. We have also know, and from history, that you are a Mississippi State grad, because that's the reason for the baseball love.
The very loud bells.
And the loud bells.
Yeah.
But at UAH, we have started to create a I don't know what the great way to call it is, but it is a line of trucks that are kind of going around the outfield wall at Charger Park. And so the question is about, is it acceptable to back the truck up to a baseball stadium and get up on the bed of the truck to watch a baseball game?
Is this a joke? The left field lounge, of course.
See, this is why I asked the question, because I needed confirmation on it. Now, how big should the tires be in certain situations? Because, and this is a question from the chat, it has poured down a lot of rain around Charger Park. So how big are we talking the tires need to be to make sure they get into position for this right field lounge that we are creating?
So they can also get out as well.
So they can get out.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. Parking's not the problem. The problem is getting out of the mudslide that you're going to have to be in. I haven't spent a ton of time at Charger Park. I can't tell you the drainage situation, but I'm thinking you're going to need some pretty significant tread.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, and here's where Grace has fallen victim to something, because Grace, I know exactly where you were last weekend. This sounds really creepy. We've already done this before.
It does, Joe.
I don't know where I was last weekend.
Well, I think it was. I think I do, because you were doing a weather event, were you not?
Oh, yes. Rocket City Weatherfest, yes.
And where was it at?
UH.
You know what? The reason I know this is because where she was doing this event, I had to pass to get to Charger Park for those baseball games, and she was all of 100 feet away from the baseball stadium.
Well, I didn't even know that. How about that?
This is why I said you were so close last week. Admission is free. You can hop over and you could see the brand new truck park that we are getting behind the Charger Park for all the tailgating that we're getting guys to do for the game. See, this is a full Mississippi State thing. All we got to do now is add some cowbells and you're going to feel right at home.
I tell you what, I'm absolutely here for it. And you know what? I'll even bring it even more full circle for you. One of my older brothers played baseball at Mississippi State. He was on the 2013 World Series team, and he was the left field lounge era. So he was there for left field lounge. I was there for the Carnegie Hall, the new dude. And so we have a lot of conversations between the two of us of which one is better.
Wait a second. So now that means you've been to Omaha.
I have not been to Omaha. I did not go.
Wait. This is the first party foul. So you're telling me your brother was playing in the national championship in Omaha for Mississippi State and you were at home?
So yes, he was a walk-on. He actually, kudos to him, he went farther in Mississippi State walk-on history than anybody at the time had. But I think he maybe wasn't playing in that game. He got medically released, so he was hurt at the time. So I didn't end up making the trip.
Okay, that's understandable. That's understandable.
Okay,
I mean, you support him from afar if he's not going to be in the game. But that's still really cool lore from Grace Anello from Way TV. But real quick, before we get you out of here, we know you're busy.
Leading to this.
All right.
Yeah.
We got this whole thing going on in the form of Alabama versus Auburn. Some people call it the Iron Bowl of the hardwood.
I don't.
There's also another rivalry going on, and it's actually a pretty good one. Top 25, Mississippi State versus Ole Miss. Would you call this one the Egg Bowl of the hardwood?
Absolutely.
There you go. And it's the Iron Bowl, baby. We got the Iron Bowl. We got the Egg Bowl of the hardwood. Thank you, Grace. I appreciate that.
Listen, it's the Egg Bowl anytime you can bring the business to Ole Miss. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. I totally agree. Except for
Put
with
my head down.
Iron
I'm
Bowl.
just gonna put my head down. John, you finish this.
Grace.
You voted against that. Have you met me?
Say no. I thought you would say no.
This is what it means to be passionate and not care about what old heads think. All right, that's all I'm saying. But I love the old heads because they listen to us. Regardless, Grace, always appreciate your time. I'm glad it's not going to be too treacherous until Saturday night. But again, everybody who needs to follow all of your work, go find Grace Anello. Grace, let the people know where they can get all the updates on the weather this weekend.
Yeah, guys, absolutely. So follow me on social media. It's at Anello WX, ANELLOWX. Download the Way 31 Storm Tracker weather app. With these nocturnal systems, you got to have one or multiple ways to be woken up in the middle of the night should a tornado warning be issued. So even though it's not a problem for the most part during the day, make sure you're taking care of yourself at night. That one is very important.
Grace,
Fear the trough.
Always appreciate
Fear the trough.
Fear in the trough. Now that I know what that is.
Yeah.
Wait, did you say troughed with a T at the end?
Trough. It's a trough.
So you're thinking like a water trough?
Yes,
Like
that's all I've been thinking the whole time. Like, oh, look, we're at the barn. Fill up the trough.
I
That's
had
all
a
I've been
feeling, but I
thinking.
wasn't going to say anything because this is your show and that's disrespectful.
No, you literally can say anything. I've been called out multiple times. It is okay. But that's
So
all.
a water trough is like something that maybe a cow or a horse drinks their water out of.
Right.
A weather trough also goes with a weather ridge. So that was where that roller coaster up and down example came from, kind of like up and down, like a wave.
But isn't a trough an up and down spot where you put the food underneath it and it makes that thing? Is that not the same? No, I'm trying to merge it.
You can't combine this. Grace, appreciate your time as always.
Feel free to call me out anytime.
Wonderful day and enjoy the basketball game this weekend.
You guys too have a great one. Thanks for having me on.
Man, Bob. She
Always.
seriously called it the Egg Bowl. I mean, come on.
I mean, what are you gonna do?
I had faith in her.
You know what?
She was going to help me out.
You thought, but you know what? I knew. Always great to have Grace Anello on. Make sure you guys go and check her out for all the information you need to know about the weather.
Seriously, every single time we ever start the show now and we say that Grace Anello is going to come on, every single guy is going to be like, oh, crap, what's happening? I have no idea what is going on.
I got to tune in.
We have literally started for people to start having anxiety attacks every time that she comes on with us now.
Hilarious. Let's take it to break off of that. When we come back, your phone calls, 256-576-9777, all the way through the end of the show, as well as Joe's got some questions we haven't got to. We're going to get to. It's a part of the Cover 5 on a Friday. Here in the new studio, we'll come out with the name soon enough. Regardless of that, we'll be right back here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and WZZN TV.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed. Oh, yeah? Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too. Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into something. She's on the honor roll. She's just not the type.
No way.
No way. No way.
No way. My kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
AL certain number 21014.
Are you trying to keep your house hot and steamy this Valentine's Day? Talent Heating and Air has just the moves to make it happen.
That's right. We'll turn that raw gas into heat in your house.
So don't let that love of your life be left out in the cold this Valentine's Day. Keep it warm with Talent Heating and Air. Thomas, the love line is open.
256-503-4490.
And on the World Wide Web.
That's talenthac.com. No ID required.
That's Talent Heating and Air, keeping your Valentine's extra warm with love, courtesy of Talent Heating and Air.
Oh, yeah.
1 in 3 adults in America have prediabetes, but most don't know it. To let people know it can be reversed before it becomes type 2 diabetes, professional basketball player Julius Randle is doing everything in reverse.
I'm only dunking with reverse windmills. I drove the whole way to practice in reverse. I don't recommend it. This move's called the reverse shuffle. I do recommend it. And it took me months to learn how to speak in reverse, like this. Here's 10 almost for diabetes type 2 with living then has mom. In other words, my mom has been living with type 2 diabetes for almost 10 years. So together, we want to say to the 84 million Americans at risk, exercise and healthy eating can help reverse prediabetes. Start by taking a simple 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Bet he can't say that in reverse.
It all comes back to money.
Visit our store right now at zonedeals.bigdealsmedia.net to take advantage of all the best deals in the Tennessee Valley. Or just go to our website, 977espn.com, and click on the Zone Deals logo to start saving right now.
Now, as to the price.
These deals won't last long, so get yours now. Zone Deals. You'll thank us later.
A man who could easily afford to buy a vowel.
I love the fact that you found some more songs to that playlist.
Did I?
Yes. I don't think this song has probably been in the system since I started back on 97.7. I don't think we've ever played it.
I digress. I think the listeners can let us know about that over on WZZN TV,
Yeah.
over on our chat boxes. They run rampant.
Well,
I love it over there, though. It's good.
No, the chat is going crazy with Grace popping in just for a little bit. She was not only on the radio, but also on WZZN TV. She was not in a bunker today. She was actually still in the studio.
Yeah, which is good, all right? It's better than what it could have been. Because if she was in a bunker, Joe, I would probably not be doing Tom's show.
No, and we appreciate it because seriously, John told me about the bad weather that's going to be coming in at about 7:15 this morning. I emailed her and she said, yep, sure, no problem. Send me the link and we're going to be good. So I appreciate her. Unlike I do not appreciate the phone calls that are still coming in.
Yeah, you might not appreciate those ones, but we do appreciate when the phone lines are blowing up. Of course, you guys can get into the show 256-576 4977. Is that what? That was too confusing.
No, because I totally landmined you on that one.
It's all right,
I just
sometimes it feels like
I totally hopped in on it just because out of habit. And so, yeah, I was just trying to make something out of nothing, but that wasn't the case. Now, I will say that Matthew has a really good point on the WZZN TV chat. He says that that Sunday is going to be a great day because not only do you have 4 Nations games on Saturday that everybody's going to be watching, because now with USA and Canada both winning, they now take on each other tomorrow night at like 7:00. So right after Alabama and Auburn, you get to sit down and watch basically the 2 premier countries in hockey playing each other.
And this is right after you get home. You get home from Tuscaloosa if you are going to the game, if you were able to shell out the money, or you had season tickets. Who even knows?
Well, and he talked about Havoc Hockey because you have Havoc Hockey tonight, which the only reason I'm telling you about tonight is because Huntsville is back up in Knoxville. We all remember what happened the last time that they were up in Knoxville for Valentine's Day. This is the 3rd WAFF 48-3 game that is going to be broadcasted over the air. So you have the opportunity to watch this game live on there. Now, if you can't watch it on WAFF 48-3, you don't have an antenna to do that. You can also hop in just like you normally would on Flow Hockey, because what WAFF 48-3 is doing is they're picking up the Flow Hockey broadcast tonight. But then Sunday night, Huntsville is going to be back at Probst Arena as they're going to be taking on Roanoke.
Yeah.
Puck drop is going to be at 5:00. I emphasize the 5:00 because normally a puck drop for the Havoc is going to be 7. There is already every seat sold for this one. 37 straight sellouts now for the Huntsville Havoc. It is team poster night is going to be, and so make sure that you get there early because we know how popular these are. So that is going to be a 5:00 puck drop. You'll be able to listen to that over on the Havoc Zone coming up on Sunday afternoon/evening.
And then a special programming. It is the NBA All-Star season, and we will have coverage of the 2025 NBA All-Star Game. So you can look forward to that on Sunday as well on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
I do love how many of our listeners and viewers love seeing when Grace comes on with us, because they even said, guys, your ratings are going to go through the roof if you just keep bringing Grace on. The only time we're bringing Grace on is when there's bad weather in, whether it's ice, snow, storm, anything like tornadoes, hurricanes, all of that. So the more she comes on, the worse the weather is, people.
Yeah. Brandon's throwing in a few song suggestions. I think it's maybe some for just our show in general, and then maybe some ideas for the Tom Abraham show. I'm very much looking forward to that. But regardless of that, Joe, you said you had some questions that carried over, and we could continue talking about Alabama versus Auburn, but I think Tom's going to have that handled. He's also going to be having his little trifecta stuff going on, I believe. And
he does have a trifecta, which is going to be a NASCAR
Daytona fecta, Joe.
Dude, I gave you the opportunity to get somebody on to talk about it. I said,
oh, you did?
Dude, I did. I literally told you to.
I don't know any NASCAR guy.
Well, no, see, and here's the reason why. In full disclosure,
no.
Ron Slay of the SEC Network and he and I have been texting back and forth. I was trying to get him on for today, but he is not feeling good. And so he was actually sent me a picture of him sitting in a chair getting an IV.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, he's like, hey, man, he goes, all this traveling's kind of catching up with me. I was like, dude, no problem.
Yeah.
I was like, besides, I kind of sent you the text message last night, like 9:00. I totally get it.
It's usually what we do.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because I actually meant to send it like earlier in the week, but I kept forgetting. And then John texted me. He's like, hey, let me know if you get the SEC guy. And I'm like, oh, crap. I'm leaving Spraggins Hall, like trying to send a text message at the same time. So
yeah, we did get in the SEC talk though earlier with Drew DeArmond from Talking Ball. So if you missed out on that, go over to WZZN TV, watch that, or you can even listen after the show, as the show will be up on SoundCloud as well as on our website. But Joe, you got some questions. I'm thinking about Daytona now. Let's get into it before my train of thought just goes down the rails.
Yeah. So this is what we call the cover 5. Now, normally this is scheduled for Wednesdays. We normally do this Wednesdays about 10:20. This is not just a John and Joe answer session.
Yes.
Okay. The phone lines are open at 256-576-4977. You can also get your answers in on the chat. WZZN TV.
Yeah.
We know how many of you are on that right now, and you're commenting as we go along. So this is the reason why I wanted to, and we kind of want to do this, is we want to introduce this to some people that have not ever been able to experience the cover 5, where we ask 5 questions. Some could be sports related. Some may not be sports related. Some could be about a holiday that's happening this week. Some could be about somebody that died. It's a lot of things. We have birthdays, every bit of that. So we start the cover 5 with this question. It is in it, I have even put the words non-sports. What is your hand doing right now?
Nothing. I was just looking through some of the hotkeys to see if we had like a sounder that I could
we
play.
still haven't come up with one for cover 5 yet. We still haven't. No. So on Wednesday, that was Georgia Day to celebrate the state of Georgia. Now I know
Peaches,
and I know. So
like their new baseball team that used to be the Braves.
The
mini Braves,
the ones that are right across the state line in I want to say it is it Columbus, Georgia? I believe is where it is. Columbus Peaches or whatever they're called.
They are the Macon Peaches.
Macon Peaches.
Wait, no. Columbus Clingstone.
Yeah, which is a peach. Yeah, Clingstone is a peach.
We got a few guys that could help me out with that one.
Yeah, Clingstone. So it's a stage 5 Clingstone. So what is your favorite non-sports thing in the state of Georgia? Because if we said what's your favorite thing in the state of Georgia, you could say Braves games.
I got
say all of that. What is your favorite non-sports thing that you have ever done in the state of Georgia? Do not say the strip club with Ray Lewis.
No, that was my second one.
Okay, just double checking.
I'm talking about Underground Atlanta.
Dude, Underground Atlanta used to be legit.
Underground Atlanta. That place is awesome. I went there. I got to wear the jacket one of these days. I got the most Underground Atlanta jacket you would ever even expect. But I know Brandon might have a few things to say about it. It's a wonderful place. It's like a little shopping center underground, I guess where like a Subway used to be or something like that.
Well, it wasn't a Subway.
You saw it in its heydays, Joe.
Yeah, it was. My God, why do you make me sound like I'm ancient?
It went downhill quick.
Tell you, Sonny, it's what it was over in my day.
Dude, Matthew threw in a really good one. Varsity is also amazing.
Varsity is everything at the Varsity is absolutely tremendous. Every bit about it. Except trying to park there and get off the exit. But other than that, the rest of the stuff is amazing.
Actually, a funny story with the Varsity. I went there once with my brothers on the way to a Atlanta. Was it the Kings or the Knights? It was in the AAFL, and they were playing in the old Braves Stadium. And that was my last experience going and eating at Varsity, which was absolutely packed, by the way. But Joe, continue on. Underground Atlanta in its prime.
So Underground Atlanta in its prime was this amazingly, really cool shopping center that Atlanta created. And when you walked into it, it was basically, I want to say it was an old rail yard of what it was. And so you're walking down the hallways or, the walkways to go to all the individual stores, but it's all cobblestone and there's railroad tracks in the middle of it. It was really, really cool.
Saw the biggest rats I've ever seen though, whenever I came out.
Real or fake?
Real.
Okay. I just didn't know. Yeah, no, it was. And so it was right where the Georgia Railroad Freight Depot used to be. That's where all this is. And so they made it look like, what the city looked like back in that time. There was one, and I always remember it. And I even remember what I purchased because the last time that I went when it was in its quote unquote heyday was, I want to say 97, 98 is when I went. And there was a video store that you went to, like a Suncoast Videos, if you remember that. I know you probably don't remember those, but a Suncoast Videos. And so you would go into this, and he would actually go like into the basement of Underground Atlanta, and that's where the Suncoast Video was. Because I remember actually purchasing WrestleMania 15 down there. I did. It was one of those VHS tapes, WrestleMania 15. I bought it there, brought it back home. I watched it 7,000 times. But no, Underground Atlanta was one of the coolest things that I ever did there. That was not going to be my answer.
Well, before we get to your answer, I do want to I want to get some of the chat's answers.
Oh, these are awesome.
The World of Coke. I've actually never gone to the Coca-Cola factory.
I think it was the same trip that I did for Underground later, because I don't know if they still are, but they used to be side by side.
All right.
And so there's a part in it where you can test all the new flavors of Coke that they were developing.
Yeah.
And you go into this room and it looks like something straight out of Willy Wonka. And there's all these different like Coke machines in front of you.
Do they have a Coke fountain?
And so basically what it was is you put your cup down that you got, and you chose what type of Coke you wanted. And so what would happen is you would press the button, the machine would start working, and the next thing you know, they would fire some of the Coke over, and like it would shoot it across the room into where your drink was going to be.
Daniel's like, yeah, no, I remember that.
No, it was so incredibly cool. Like it was one of like the coolest things in the world.
That's awesome.
And so I would literally just take it, get a drink, and then go to the next one and watch it again. Cause all you wanted to do was see the Coke fly across the room into the machine that you were in to make whatever version of the Coke that you wanted, whether it was cherry Coke or something like that.
Well, I have to admit that is really cool. It's awesome to reminisce about certain things. I never went to the Coke factory, but I did go to the aquarium, and that was another one of Matthew's. And it was the first time I ever saw a whale shark. I mean, it was gigantic.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little kid. I don't remember much, but I do remember that whale shark. It was the coolest thing ever. So big. Joe, what's your answer?
First off, my favorite thing that I did at the Georgia Aquarium was watch the beavers.
Yeah, that's cute.
Yeah, just I want to say it like that because I know the direction people can take that, but the little beavers swimming around, patting their tummies, yeah, it was really fun.
That is adorable.
My favorite thing that I've ever done in the state of Georgia, Six Flags Over Georgia, but more specifically, back in the early 90s when they had the Batman show at Six Flags Over Georgia. It was after the original Batman with Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson. Every single Six Flags had this Batman spectacular show that they did, very similar to like what you see in Disney with these shows where there's a Batmobile, it's a city of like Gotham and Joker's trying to take over, and the Batmobile comes flying in and there's explosions and fireworks and all this stuff. Coolest thing I ever did was go to that thing. I literally thought about it for years afterwards.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Six Flags, though.
Yeah, well, it's still around, but it's yeah.
Struggling. It's limping around.
Yeah. The struggle bus is absolutely real.
I've always wanted to go to the one in New Orleans, though. That's been closed for about 2 decades now.
Well, yeah, because of Katrina.
Well, and also it wasn't getting that much. It wasn't getting visitors.
Yeah, now you know what it is?
Airsoft course.
No, you know what they do? You know what people do with it now?
Airsoft?
It would actually be a really cool answer.
No, they do.
There are videos of people that like break into the one in New Orleans and they literally just tour the thing as it was right the day that Katrina hit.
Well, yeah,
because it hasn't been touched.
People also do that, but you can actually get into an airsoft. I don't know. It's an event that they have out there, and I've seen some videos, and it's actually really legit. But Joe, second question might be our last question.
It may be. Now, this one's going to be really timely. I want to kind of see what John's answer is going to be on this because I think it could change based on this. Because
the first one was fun.
So Wednesday, which was February 17th, or not 17th, but yeah, February 11th, that was Abraham Lincoln's birthday. It was actually February 12th. I remember what it was that day.
12th,
yeah, so February 12th.
That's still Lincoln's birthday.
Was Abraham Lincoln's birthday. That was on Wednesday when I wrote up this cover 5. Okay, but it is also the same day that one actress was born that has been in a ton of movies, both as a kid and as an adult.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
That is not a girl.
Oh.
No.
Oh, it's a female.
A female. Yes.
Okay.
It's an actress. Christina Ricci.
Mm-hmm.
She was born on February 12th. Do you know who she is? John Abraham. Please tell me you know who she is.
See, I'm not good with names. I know football names.
She's Wednesday Addams, man. The original Wednesday Addams.
Yeah. No, I remember.
Oh, now
that was
you
a
say,
bad.
okay,
that was a bad.
thank you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that really was a bad. Oh yeah.
I was like the Kool-Aid man with that one. No.
Oh yeah.
I remember those original Addams Family movies were spectacular, and part of it was because of Christina Ricci.
Reason I ask, what is your favorite Christina Ricci movie? Because she has a ton of them.
What's my favorite? Okay. All right.
No.
Oh yeah, no. Okay. So she was in. Oh yeah, she was in a lot.
Could you calm down over there now that you figured out who she is?
Hyped up. All right. So she was in a lot of movies. So she was also in Matrix Resurrections. Not a good one. That's not a good one.
No,
if it was
definitely
the original, then I would have said that. I'm gonna say this, guys. This is a sleeper pick, and I don't know if anybody really knows about this. Speed Racer, the live action movie, is phenomenal.
That out of all of her movies, that's the one you chose.
Dude, the monkey and the kid in the back, the fat kid in the back. Oh my gosh, wonderful! And I know it's based off of the original anime, but No, this on a Friday night, is a wonderful movie to watch. What would you? Oh, Pan Am. No, Pan Am's all right. It's a show though.
No, well, it still counts.
I'm going Speed Racer
because
all the way.
she's also Lizzie Borden in the Lizzie Borden Chronicles. Yeah. Like she's done that. She's been in Yellow Jackets.
Sleepy Hollow.
She's in Sleepy Hollow. She's also in the new Wednesday show where she's now like one of the teachers or something like that at Wednesday school as well.
Yeah, I remember.
So she's in a ton of shows throughout her career as a child and as an adult.
Yeah. I mean, as much as I look through this, she's also in Casper, which is a little bit of a nostalgia.
Mermaids.
She's a nostalgia kick for me. Mermaids, never watched it.
No, I've never watched it. I knew she was in it though, and I'd seen it. The box as I was kind of walking around the movie stores.
Speed Racer, 100%.
Speed Racer on that one,
and then Adam's Family behind that one.
Okay, no, as much as she's been phenomenal in some of the newer stuff, but I'm always going to say Casper. Always go with Casper.
That's totally reasonable.
Like literally, I think one of my first crushes as a little kid on Christina Ricci was because of the movie Casper.
I gotcha.
I'm trying to go back and see what year did Casper come out, like 1993 or something?
Yeah,
1995.
Oh, God.
I was 11 years old.
I'm looking at the second one.
No.
Spirited Beginning.
No, definitely not the second one. No, Christina Ricci. Now, Matt says Wednesday Addams and the girl from Casper because he was trying to help you with this. In that and letting you know.
Appreciate that, man.
No. So that is the cover 5, which is really just a cover 2 on there. We have some more questions and I'm actually going to kind of hold off even for next week because they're not as timely as what those were for the week.
Okay, good. But I really like those types of questions that focus on the day. I think you should slide a few more of those in there, as well as, of course, the state ones.
Well, and the thing about like today, for instance, if we would have went with today, we all know that today is Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
It is also Tug of War Day. It is National Love Your Pet Day, National Margarita Day.
Oh yeah, you know what I'm doing tonight.
And National Sticky Bun Day. All of those are actually going to be coming up next week, I should say.
Oh, those are coming up next week.
Those are all.
I thought
next
those
week.
were today.
No,
I was like, okay.
No, I was originally, as I was looking at it, the dates were popping up as, those things were going on. So that's the reason why I got a little bit confused myself as the way I was saying them. But if you're looking for today is Good Book Giving Day, Winter Bike to Work Day. That just sounds dumb. League of Women Voters Day as well.
Good for them.
Yeah, good for them. Call in Single Day.
That's why you were supposed to call into the show. That was the whole point. Instead, we got comment in the
and
single day,
it is National Football Hangover Day.
That should have been on Monday.
And as we go to break, this holiday also coincides with Valentine's Day, so make sure that you are celebrating unless you want to be like myself. It is National Condom Day. 256-576-4977.
We aren't a winning school. We are a championship school, and we make legends. Join the Crimson Tide as they look to continue to rise to the top of the NCAA basketball mountain. Every game, all season, right here on your home for Alabama basketball, the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at jetsuperstore.com.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas,
And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com. Here in North Alabama, barbecue is a part of what makes our home so special, and great barbecue from Lawler's makes it just that much better. Since 1978, Lawler's has been serving up their delicious barbecued pork, ribs, chicken, ham, and turkey for generations of family get-togethers. Recognized as the best barbecue joint in Alabama for 2 years in a row, Lawler's is thrilled to share their award-winning barbecue for your next family meal or catered event. Order online or stop by any one of their 14 area locations. Lawler's Barbecue, cooked slow, served fast.
There's the phone and no one to answer.
256-576-4977.
And as a result, we got many phone calls and letters.
Give us a call on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline today. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Final segment, best segment on the Blitz. Joe Hunk, John Abraham. If you happen to miss anything from the show today, i.e. Grace Anello at 10 o'clock.
Or Drew DeArmond. Alabama, Auburn.
High school basketball, as that is going on, as he's on the road right now heading to Wallace. I am about to be on the road and going to be going back to the UAH campus as the Chargers are going to have first pitch today at noon. So I'm going to have to get out of here pretty quickly once the show wraps up so that I can get over there and get set up. That's going to be on the Charger Zone today. The other question I just now realized.
What's that?
We have Way Grace is talking. That third game in this series is supposed to be happening and will happen tomorrow as well, with the way that she's talking about the weather not really coming in until tomorrow night.
Yeah.
We also have UAH women's basketball and men's basketball that tips off at 2:00 tomorrow. That is going to be broadcasted as well because it is senior day for both the men's and women's teams over at UAH. So you definitely want to make sure that you are paying attention to all of our social media feeds so that you can get the most updated schedule about how and where we are going to be broadcasting everything because the first pitch at Charger Park tomorrow between Christian Brothers and UAH is scheduled for 12 o'clock. And the way Grace was talking, we really shouldn't have much bad weather until after those baseball games take place. Yeah. So it is opening day today. We've got all the SEC teams going. UNA and Army are going to get going over at Toyota Field as well.
Awesome game.
Make sure that you add some layers. You're going to need layers because it is windy. It is cold out there. I'm about to go throw on some layers before I head over to Charger Park. So a lot of stuff to be paying attention to. And so you need to follow us on 977 ESPN on X, as well as making sure that you are following us on Facebook, Instagram, every single other platform that you could possibly think of, as well as YouTube.
Yeah, Instagram, definitely. Maybe TikTok as well. We honestly,
Dude, we could go live on TikTok.
We don't need to go live.
No, we
on
can
TikTok.
go live on
we
TikTok.
We could redirect some of that younger demographic over to our show, because that's what I feel like our show tends to.
No, ours.
Let us know though. I mean, we got some older listeners.
So
we appreciate
Daniel also wanted to let us know that the UAH softball game has been moved to there's a doubleheader today over at Charger Park as well. That one's at 2:00. And he asked, will the Charger Zone have a second channel? It's funny you asked that. Because the answer is yes.
Do I show them? I can just show
Yes.
them on the app. Watch this, guys.
So-
if you're watching on WZZN TV, I'm going to go to, let me just skip all the anime girls. All right.
That's really good.
ESPN app. Watch this. Bada bing.
It's just a white screen.
I know.
It's
I can see it. I'm watching it.
Okay.
Bada
It's loading.
bing. Bada boom.
There's a glare.
Look at that. You get the two zones right there.
There's the Havoc Zone, which you're going to need for Sunday.
Oh,
There's
what?
the Charger Zone that is right below that.
Oh.
And what John is saying is that once you get onto the app, you scroll up.
Scroll up.
If you just literally, can you mute that?
Oh, no, it's throwing me somewhere else. Oh, no. No, it's an easy app to use. I'm just.
You aren't really showcasing that right now.
Maybe that one.
There you go. ESPN 97.7 Zone 3. That is where you need to go. That is where we're going to have.
The easiest way to do it is going on to 977ESPN.com. And then obviously we'll make sure that it's easier on the app as well. It is usually easier on the app. It just needs to be updated. But that's totally fine. It will be. And yes, you will be able to listen to all the Chargers baseball and basketball like nothing ever happened.
It's really easy to use. Let me show you.
It
on the
was
video.
supposed to be 2 taps, Joe. If I wanted to hit the table, but I can't do it because all of this equipment would just collapse.
Oh,
I don't want to do that.
Yeah, Moulton is texting me right now. He is going to be on the call for the softball games today.
Nice.
So Steve and I are going to be over there, and then we've got to figure out how we're going to do everything tomorrow, because you have Charger basketball happening with the women going against Union. And that, honestly, as big of a game as is going to be for the men afterwards, with them being the number 4 team in the country, this is a massive game for the women, because this is the number 1 versus 2 matchup in the Gulf South Conference standings.
It's going to be huge. It's going to be awesome. But, Joe, I wanted to end off this Friday edition of the Blitz, this Friday edition of, well, the morning shows, with a very happy story. It's sad but happy at the same time. It was from the NFL. Eagles' A.J. Brown, of course, former Ole Miss stud wide receiver. He actually paid a visit to a boy who was injured protecting his sister during a Philadelphia plane crash. You guys remember that? Like, I think it was last week, 2 weeks ago. Those 2 plane crashes that happened. This was in one of them where there were some tragedies. Of course, there's a few casualties to this one, but he was a 10-year-old boy. He still is. He's alive. He actually jumped in the way of some debris to save his sister, because, it probably would have hurt her a little bit more. But he did end up having to go in and get brain surgery, emergency brain surgery. And thankfully, he made a recovery. He's still making that recovery. He's a huge Philadelphia Eagles fan. And A.J. Brown paid him a visit with the Lombardi Trophy. And it was just a very happy story that I felt like I had to throw out to you.
It is a great story, because AJ saw the story. He actually told the kid, like, hey, if we win, I'm coming to see you with the trophy. He told him what he was going to do. And AJ Brown did that. And I know that, again, being a former Titan, being around him the times that I have, he is an amazing person. He's such a good guy. It is. And I know that obviously wide receivers kind of get that rap because they're wide receivers, and we've all seen like AJ on the sidelines and reading the book and all that sort of stuff. Like, he is such a good person that is the reason why I was happier for him winning a Super Bowl, for all the crap that he went through with getting traded from Tennessee, finding out the reason why, all the stuff there when he didn't want to leave Tennessee. In fact, not only did he get traded from Tennessee, he actually even had a football camp that was scheduled for like a week after the draft in Tennessee. Like, it's that sort of stuff that's just kind of like, he was trying to do so much for the community and all that. So I am so happy that he got a Super Bowl, and I'm also happy that he did that.
A true hero, though, in the form of Andre Howard III. Good stuff from him. Well, Joe, we're getting out of here. Well, you're getting out of here.
I'm getting out of here.
Staying here. I don't have to put on any extra layers. I'm honestly getting a little hot. Regardless of that, look forward to all the coverage we got on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Tom Abraham coming up at 12. And, of course, a whole lot of fun with UAH basketball, UAH baseball, Alabama Auburn, everything you'd want and more here in the North Alabama area, all on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. So keep it dialed in to your favorite sports station, and we'll catch you guys on Monday.
Don't forget, UAH softball also 2 p.m. first pitch.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, if you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today.